Michael Atkinson, welcome to 7:30 South Australia.
Thank you.
Is it time for your colleague Kevin Foley to leave the ministry?
No, I don't think so. Kevin has given tremendous service to the Parliamentary Labor Party since he was elected in 1993.
Does he continue to do so?
Yes, I think he's still an asset and a mentor to younger members of Parliament. And the best thing for the Parliamentary Labor Party is for Kevin to stay until the next election. And that probably means being in the ministry.
Why till the next election?
Well, I don't think at this stage in the electoral cycle the Parliamentary Labor Party wants a by-election.
But you'd lose Port Adelaide.
I don't think we would lose Port Adelaide, but we would be at risk of losing it, and so it's best that Kevin stays on.
That's an astonishing admission. If you're at risk of losing Port Adelaide, then the one person who's to blame is the person you're saying should stay there, Kevin Foley.
No, what's to blame is more that the government, which is now in its 10th year, it has been in a long time, and at this stage in the electoral cycle, governments are normally trailing in the polls. Now, we are, not by much. But
it's a significant amount. Your first party preferred vote is down into the 20s.
Yes, but our two-party preferred vote is up in the 40s, I believe.
Can we come back to another thing, though, and that is you've chosen a different course of action. You chose to leave because, in essence, you looked at where the government was and you decided that in order to better serve the people, it needed to renew, and it couldn't do that unless people like you left.
That's right.
Why, then, a different standard for Kevin Foley to Michael Atkinson? Why are you and the Labor Party holding a different and lesser standard for his behaviour than your own?
Well, Kevin is serving in the ministry now in a comparatively junior ministry.
And attracting attention for all the wrong reasons.
Well, I don't think owing to his own fault. We must remember here he's the victim of an assault, what appears to be on its face a crime, for the second time. And I think the treatment of him by some sections of the media has been appallingly bad.
He himself, though, went on to, and I take it you're perhaps referring to an interview that appeared on ABC Radio, he himself then went on to use the word later on that day, describing his own life as a soap opera. He also said that his own personality is partly to blame. Well, out of his own mouth.
Kevin came out, about 2 years ago, and said that he suffered from depression.
Not that aspect of his personality, but his in-your-face style, his bellicosity.
Well, isn't it good to have a flesh and blood politician who says what he means?
Absolutely.
I mean, it is an exception in the day and age when politicians seem to be automatons who can only say lines that have been run past focus groups.
Yes, and that would be outrageous hypocrisy on my behalf to discourage that. But you managed to do the same and not get biffed, and not, rightly or wrongly, you saw that you had baggage. And that was why you decided to leave. But I would suggest not as much baggage as Kevin Foley has. Well, he is a distraction to the government, surely. You can't...
he's a distraction for politics generally. So he takes up time that might have been occupied in the media by the government or, alternatively, by the opposition. And I don't think...
That is searching very hard for a silver lining, Michael Atkinson.
I don't think anyone is going to vote against the Australian Labor Party at the next state general election because of Kevin Foley. I mean, he's not even going to be a candidate.
But you yourself said that you had to go in order to give the government the room that it needed to grow, to change and to better serve the people. I still don't understand why, if that holds true for you, why it doesn't hold true for Kevin Foley and, of course, eventually Mike Rand, Pat Conlon and a range of others.
Well, look, there's room on the backbench alongside Steph Key and Michael Wright and I. We're looking forward to other colleagues joining us and enjoying mentoring the young ones who are going to move up through committee chairmanships, parliamentary secretaryships, and eventually into the ministry. So what we want to do is nurture the next generation. That's what I wanted to do by stepping down.
Kevin Foley where he
and
is.
Also to make room for people like John Rao and Jack Snelling to advance into the ministry and be alternative premiers.
May I ask you a personal question, and I'll go straight ahead and ask it, having asked if I may. Are you happier now, having made the decision to leave the ministry?
I enjoyed being a minister enormously. I enjoyed being Attorney General and especially Minister for Multicultural Affairs. It was the joy of my life.
But are you happier now?
But people say that I look much better and I'm much healthier because the stress is much less.
Can I take that as a yes?
Well, you can take it for what it is. Being a minister is the fulfilment of the ambition for most people who enter Parliament. So I'm sorry I'm not a minister, but it's time to give someone else a go.
But on that basis, perhaps instead of asking the question as is it time for him to go, do you think it would be better for him? I mean, I'll quote one of the things that he said the other day. He said that his shrink, his words, for the past 4 years has said politics is incompatible with a person who suffers from depression, and he thinks that his shrink is right. I think she's right. So given your experience, would your advice be maybe it is time to make yourself happy?
That's a personal decision for Kevin, but I think he's served the party well, and we owe it to him to be respectful and to allow him to make that decision.
But why? Another overseas trip. He has been given a lot by the people of South Australia and by the Labor Party as well.
And he's given them a lot in one of the biggest infrastructure builds together with balanced budgets. He's been a good treasurer.
How good?
Very good. The Mike ran Kevin Foley team was a good team for many years.
Michael Atkinson, a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for joining us on 7:30 South Australia.
Nice to be with you.